Alright, so before I begin this video, I want to make something very clear. This video will be using copyrighted material. However, it is only in the video to be critiqued, meaning this video is protected under fair use, which basically means I can use any kind of copyrighted material in my videos as long as it is only there to be critiqued. So yeah, if the people that own the content that I'm using in this video decide to come down and copyright strike this video, the law is on my side, and if you do that, that's perjury. So tread carefully. Also, I want to apologize for the poor audio quality in this video. I'm not in my regular setup, and I'm actually in another house, and there's no real secluded places to be. Not even closets. So, please excuse that, but I wanted to get this video out before I started getting super lazy about it. So, with that said, let's begin. Oh, and I almost forgot. I'm going to be using this new red look. A lot more simple to put emotions onto it. So anyways, now for real, let's begin the video. So, have you guys ever heard of Polygon? It's this website that's filled with nothing but, cancerous, I should say, news articles. I mean, well, there's some good stuff on there, but more often than not, it's SJWs polluting it. It's video game based, but still polluted. So, the reason I came across this, and the only reason I ever went to this, is because I was purposely looking for articles to criticize. And luckily, I lucked out. Anyways, what I found was this article. Let's take a look at it. The title of the article is GTA V and the Problem of Privilege. Subtitle, an elite school uses the controversial game to teach life lessons. The article was written by Colin Campbell and was published on August the 4th, 2017 at noon. So, the reason just looking at this, you can tell this is cancerous, is because the problem of privilege. That's a very key part of this. You can tell it's written by a social justice warrior when it talks about the problem of privilege. And not only that, actually, my bad. I was starting to look for something else. What I was thinking of was further in the article. I have read a bit ahead. But anyways, as for Colin Campbell, I couldn't find anything for him specifically. Turns out there's a lot of Colin Campbells on Twitter, so no dice there. And this is only 4 days old. But the worst part about this was, and I'm not sure if it still is, but when I found this was the featured article on Polygon, meaning it was the first thing you saw if you went to the website Polygon, which says as much as you need to know about the website after we get through this article. Alright, next page. Royal St. George's College in Toronto is an elite private school, an all-boys school with an angelical liberal tradition and a very good choir. Why did they even include that? With annual fees of around $30,000, it's a bastion of wealth and influence. Well, while I won't deny that seems pretty expensive, I still question, why did you need to put in the choir part again? But alright, we get the premise. It's in a private school. Alright, so next page. The school recently undertook an experimental educational exercise that sought to address its students' privilege. Oh, there's that word again, the P word, privilege. Ugh. Just the worst. It asked senior students to play Grand Theft Auto V to come together in group sessions to discuss how the game frames and expresses their own lives in comparison to the lives of people less wealthy, less white, and less male? Hold on. Less wealthy, less white, less male. Oh gosh. I can't. How can you live life like that? How can you live life where everything's about how white or how male someone is. How you worry about their genitalia or the color of their skin tone. That's what these people do. They look too much into it. They say they're against racism, but inevitably that's what they're doing. I know he's not saying anything that's like that, but more likely than not, this is where it's going. And when I saw this, this is what definitely made me know, yeah, this deserves a video to be made on it. Now, I will say this, it's not as bad as most stuff Polygon puts out. Most stuff Polygon puts out isn't even on anything. It's just making up something to complain about. This, they actually had something to report. Alright, here we got the next page, or paragraph, sorry. Grand Theft Auto V is set in a fictional U.S. city, a fictional U.S. city of Los Santos in which crime and violence are central. Many of the characters in the game are self-mocking stereotypes of the urban American fictional landscape. GTA V is a celebration of a glamorized criminal class living in a moral vacuum? Hold on. I know what you're trying to say, but not the right words to use. Whoever, Colin Campbell, Colin, not the right words. It's not a celebration of it. They didn't walk up and say, hey, crime is going on. Let's celebrate it by making a video game about it. No, it's not a celebration of crime in a moral vacuum. It's not. It's a portrayal of a fictional world where crime runs rampant without much pushback. I mean, you can just see it in the police. I mean, really, it's because of bad AI, but, you know, it's how it is. Anyways, it's just stupid. It's something stupid to say. Anyways, I'm gonna just pull up the next paragraph, alright? Alright, here we go. The game's development was overseen by the Hauser brothers, who came from an upper-middle-class white background and who attended a highly rated private school in London. Oh, they're gonna... I haven't looked ahead from here on out, but I can bet you a ton of money that they will rarely mention the Hauser brothers. They're just saying it so they can say that the people that led it were white. To say that white people wanted to purposely make something that's racist. How much you want to bet? Next paragraph. Anyways, Los Santos is a long way from Royal St. George's College. A well-regarded 2009 documentary chronicled the lives of some RCSG's students. As one reviewer put it, the film reveals the pangs of adolescence in the context of social privilege. Sorry, I couldn't help but do like that kind of pseudo movie reviewer accent. You know, critic. Anyways, let me take a quick look at that documentary. Alright, I didn't find anything that could be used as against Polygon from any reviews of the documentary. It was, as they said, a well-regarded documentary. It was a bit interesting how it sounded, but not my kind of movie. But anyways, the next paragraph says, RSGC students are not unaware of their own advantages. In the documentary, a local politician addresses the student body. You're among the most privileged people in the world. What you do with that privilege will define you as a person. Well, I don't find anything wrong with this paragraph. Actually, I like that quote at the end, because I know, don't get me wrong, I don't like the idea of quote-unquote privilege. I mean, the way Polygon's using it, it's white privilege. But this, they're talking about literal privilege, you know, money, wealth, coming from somewhere of a very strong background, starting out ahead of everyone else in life. That is important. If you are a person of privilege, you should use that privilege for good. It's important that you use it for good. But, of course, Polygon being Polygon, that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about white privilege. Skin tone. Next paragraph. Alright, so now we've come across our first subtitle, named... The subtitle is A Dominant Social Group. let's see what this. Paul Darvasi. I'm gonna call it Paul Darvasi. Paul Darvasi is an educator with a keen interest in how games can be used as teaching tools. He runs a website called Ludic Learning. He penned a report for the United Nations cultural arm UNESCO on the usefulness of games. Alright, this actually sounds pretty interesting, and I'm probably going to check this out for myself. But there's nothing really to read into this paragraph, so let's look at the next one. Alright, nothing much is said in this. All that's really said is, he's also a teacher at RSGC, where he specializes in media literacy, blah blah blah. He pitched an idea for the senior students to play GTA V. So he was the mastermind behind this whole experiment. And he pitched the idea to the boys' parents and the school administration. I'm gonna move right on to the next one, like right now. These students are upper middle class white males, a very dominant social group in Northern American society, he says. These are the individuals who go on to and obtain high-powered positions in society and in governments, in politics and industry. Which, like, once again, this is a no-brainer. Of course, people that are more privileged and get a better start are gonna be in more high-powered positions. So, yeah, alright, so nothing really to debunk here. In fact, now that I think about it, I should stop sticking on these and saying, yeah, that makes sense. I should just go on, which I'm gonna start doing. If there's nothing to say, I'm just gonna read the paragraph and move on. Anyways, next paragraph. Wikipedia lists more than 50 old Georgian alumni who have achieved notable careers in politics, the arts, media, medicine, industry, and professional sports. Now, I really am crunching for time here, so I can't really check that. It's a group that I think has to be sensitized to other realities, says Darvasi. The only way they typically encounter these other realities are through mitigated experiences like video games. Playing this game under normal conditions can be compared to a colonial experience. They are exercising their privilege by playing around with race, playing around with gender. Well, that's an odd use of words. Playing around with race, playing around with gender. There's nothing real specific I can say about it. It's just the tone of it I don't like. Next paragraph. Darvasi made his pitch to parents and faculty. Somewhat to his surprise, they all agreed it would be a worthwhile endeavor. Most of the boys already owned a console and a copy of GTA V. Those who did not, including a boy who had never been previously allowed a console at home, managed to borrow what they needed. Well, I mean, maybe his parents just were PC players and didn't want to have GTA 5 on their Steam account, so just borrowed a console and got a hard copy. Anyways, back to the article. Darvasi's preferred format was open collaboration. The students played the game at home and then wrote about their experiences, or created videos, photo essays, and comics. In class, they sat together, shared their work, and spoke about how they played and how they interacted with other characters. He is keen to stress that this lesson was particular to its own time and place, to the outlook of these students. He says the group is down-to-earth, pleasant, and communicative, and they each battled with their own struggles and demons. Okay, I think... I'm not gonna assume anything. They might have struggles in their lives. I don't know how the privileged live. Alright, the article continues to say, he adds that the students are smart, liberal, idealistic. They understand that art and culture, including video games, carry significant biases that ought to be... No, there's no real bias, because I know what they mean. I know what these people mean by significant biases. They mean they're trying to be racist. They think they're trying to be sexist. They're not. It's just art. Just because there's not an equal percentage all around, an equal representation of everything, doesn't mean there's biases there. In the case of GTA, and I know they're probably going there, it's all satire. That's why everything is really racist. Because, think about it, even the whites are portrayed really badly. I mean, This kind of statement just frustrates me. I've seen it so many times watching videos on YouTube. It's just too cliche for me. Anyways, next paragraph. Problematic games can provide valid and relevant fields from which to have constructive discussions, says Devar. See, I hate that name. I'm just saying, it's hard to pronounce. It's just really tripping up. It just trips me up. Anyways, says Devarsi, they open up conversations on violence, misogyny, body image, and racism. It's very important to think critically about a relationship to all these issues. Now, I will say they can open up conversations about violence in society, and even misogyny, and even racism. But body image? I can't really think of a game that really goes there. I mean, I think this guy's just trying to check all the boxes of political correctness on just in these quotes. Just because, it's quotes for Polygon.